So the topic of the today's debate is it ethical to have non-vegetarian food? Is that correct, Akshay?
Yeah, it's correct.
Okay, it's correct. So, do we have anybody in the room who is for the notion? That is, somebody who thinks it is ethical only to have vegetarian food and non-ethical to have non-vegetarian food. Anybody for the notion? Anybody cuttar vegetarian type person here?
I am a pure vegetarian.
Pure vegetarian. Okay, wonderful. So
Yeah,
we have
are we also supporting the motion?
you are also
Me,
supporting the motion. So anybody against the motion?
yeah, I'm also supporting the
Wait,
motion, but
just wait. Like just to confirm, like I'm supporting the motion, so it's supposed to be like unethical to eat non-vegetarian food, right?
Okay, okay. So Akshay, you are a vegetarian person, or means I mean you are for the notion or against the notion?
like I can say, but I will speak from both side. I will try to speak from both side. Like
No,
I
no.
will just
Choose one
share my
side.
opinions. I will share my opinions.
Okay, okay. So we
So
have two
how
So
persons.
about
Bhumika
like
is a
two
mediator.
people can support the motion and two people can be like against it?
Akshay, how do you
What about
suppose?
you,
How
Ayaz?
should we go ahead? I am against the motion.
Good.
So
We
we
have
have
someone else.
equal distribution of members in the team. Two people on for side, two people on against side. Akshay, are you
Looks
with
like
me?
Yeah, I will be with you.
Okay, then shall we start?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Okay,
Earth.
so we will give chance to the team which is speaking for the motion. Ladies first, Bhumika. Shall we start with you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, you can start by telling us what is your ground for taking ethics and why do you think that it is ethical only to take vegetarian food and non-ethical to have non-vegetarian food. So, ground is yours.
Okay. So, in my opinion, like in today's era, we already have so many alternatives. So, if we have the option to like not impose cruelty on living beings, so why not choose that way? Why to impose cruelty on other beings? You know, why cause the suffering if we have, if we can, if we have the way to reduce the suffering, then we should go for it. So I don't see the reason to like cause suffering for no reason to those innocent beings who can't even feed them for themselves. And in today's era, like there's no humane killing. Like they are brutally killing the animals just for the sake of their taste. So, yeah, that's my point of view in this topic.
All right. So Bhumika spoke on the human perspective, that is on the perspective of feelings, not causing pain.
Yeah,
So, okay.
right.
Prashant, would you like to add?
I will second Bhumika's comment here, and I do firmly believe that in a world where alternatives to animal-based foods are widely available, and continuing to eat animals is ethically indefensible, I believe. That the most fundamental reason is that it causes unnecessary suffering, just like Bhumika mentioned. Animals are sentient beings capable of feeling pain, fear, and stress, right? So when plant-based and lab-grown options can meet our nutritional needs, then why harm animals, right? Without harming sentient creatures, choosing to consume like meat becomes a choice to inflict like avoidable harm, and morally that is no longer justifiable. Like I live in US, and then I have a plethora of other options, just like I go to Chipotle, I eat sofitas, we have tofu, we have plant-based protein, foods available, and it's not just like it's more prevalent and most widely available everywhere. There are vegan options also. So why to harm animals? That is what my standpoint lies in.
Right. So we have some points spoken uh, for the notion. Mostly it is on the grounds of feelings, like why to cause unnecessary pain and why to cause cruelty to animals. So, is the ball in our court, Akshay? Shall we start? Is it our turn to speak?
Yeah, Sayyid. You can you share first your opinion, then I will share now.
Okay, you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. So the two points spoken by Prashant and Bhumika both are on the basis of emotions, that we should not cause unnecessary harm to others. We should not cause unnecessary pain. Actually, I have been reading the debate of vegetarianism and non-vegetarianism for quite a bit of a time. See, initially, the point which was spoken by the vegetarians was that we should not kill any living beings. This was the point which was spoken earlier. Now the uh, idea has changed. Now we know that even plants have got feelings. So the logic which was used earlier has changed. Now they also vegetarians also know that even plants have life. They are also living beings. So killing plants and killing animals for our food. So they change the logic. It goes like plants cannot feel pain, and we should not cause uh, suffering to the animals. Now, I would like to say that science has advanced a little further. Now we know that even plants can feel pain. They have a parallel mechanism in their body, which have response, which have stimulus to the any attack caused by insects or by animals. They do respond to the stimuli. They have a defense mechanism also, and because we know that they have a defense mechanism, they are trying to survive. So we know that causing of harm to the animals, like you're picking up a plant, you're cutting that plant, that for your own food, it is also causing some kind of a distress to them. And at the same point, I would like to quote a point from Jagdish Chandra Bose, who was a renowned physicist from India. And parallelly, he was also doing research on plants. He also developed a instrument called crystallograph for studying the growth in plants. Uh, he observed some electrical signals being transmitted by vegetables and plants. He said that when you boil a cabbage or when you boil a plant, there is some irregular, abnormal electrical activity which is observed in these plants. If you can convert these electrical signals into sound, you will be hearing the one of the fiercest shrieks, fiercest cry in the world. So the idea that plants cannot feel pain is also not justified in the light of modern science. So the logic needs to evolve further. And speaking on the side of nutrition, uh, see, I agree that they're taking different types of legumes and different types of milk-based products, and may come up with some kind of may provide a complete nutrition. But at the same time, the animal-based proteins are far more richer and far more complete. And for human body to survive, for example, vitamin B12, it is not found in any of the uh, plant-based nutritions. It is found richly in non-vegetarian food, and it is required for human body to have a complete nutrition. So these are the 2 points from my side. Akshay, over to you.
Yes, Sayyid. As you said about B12, I agreed with you because the B12 is only found in meat. So it's not found in any plant-based diet. So I agreed with you. And also I want to share that science show that plants can respond to light, touch, and music and damage also, like you said, Sayed. So also some studies says that plants may even communicate through roots or chemicals. Okay. So if life itself is the reason not to harm, then we must also think about plants because uh, like uh, we must in short I may say that we must eat to live. Okay. All living things need energy. Humans get energy from food, either animals or plants. So it's necessary for us to eat. Okay, so some form of life must be taken in order for us to survive. So it's not about avoiding harm 100%, but about reducing unnecessary harm. So
Right.
yeah. So eating, I want to say that some people argue animals feel more pain than plants because they have brains and nerves. But this does not mean plants have zero value. Like I just want to say that plants has also life, and animals has also life. Both things have also life, like all plant and animal both have life. But for human being, it's necessary that we should eat both of even plants and animals, because to survive we have to eat something. And like Sayed said about the B12, the B12 is found only in the meat. So we must eat some form of life also. So this is my opinion.
Right, Akshay. So, for surviving of any life, it is necessary that they must also consume some other forms of
Yeah,
living beings,
yeah, right.
be be it in plant-based products or be it in the form of animal-based products.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
So,
we need some energy, and whether it's from plant or whether it's from animal, we need some energy to live. So without that, how can we live? We can't completely depend on the plants. Okay, so we need some form of life also, the meat to get the energy, like you said about the B12.
right. All right. So, I think we have spoken some points against the notion. So, Bhumika, back to you if you would like to add something in the debate. So, the ground is yours.
Okay, so like countering your opinion like that, plants can also feel pain. So I don't think they can feel
Before we speak
as same
of
as
plants
humans.
when people feel pain, do we agree that plants have life?
Of course, they are living beings,
They are
but they are
living
not
beings. So,
sentient beings. Okay, even a bacteria is a living being, but we don't consider it as sentient being, right? There's a difference between a living being and a sentient being. Okay,
oh,
sentient beings are human beings, animals that have like a whole nervous system that's almost similar to humans in most of the aspect. Okay, they are similar to humans. Even in today's era, we can see uh, like we transplant organs from animals to humans. Or I don't know if it's under the development process. I don't know, but the capacity of suffering is different. Like plants do suffer less and animals suffer more because obviously they have a nervous system and they can feel more pain and they can sense all the suffering, pain, pleasure. They can sense all these things more than plants. So I guess obviously uh, mm, we should put sentient beings over living things. Okay. Uh, can't we can't save every living being, right? Even the microorganism, bacteria are living beings, but we don't go saving them every bacteria or organism. You know? We can't do that. So we should favor sentient beings over plants or any living being. So yeah, that's what I think. Uh, Prashant, you can go ahead. Hello,
Prashant, are you
Prashant, you
there?
there?
Yes, I am. I was just waiting for Bhumika to finish. Uh,
Yeah,
if
you
I
can go
may,
ahead.
okay. So, Sayat and Akshay, I really do appreciate your thoughts and your perspectives. And this is like a common rebuttal from meat eating advocates. However, I would like to uh, like I have some counter arguments against the 2 points which you just mentioned about the stimulus and Akshay, you mentioned. I think you both mentioned also about the B12. So while some studies suggest that plants can respond to stimuli or stress in the environment, there's no credible scientific evidence that plants possess consciousness or sentience. The capacity to feel pain, suffer, or experience motions. Unlike animals, plants lack a nervous system, brain, or pain receptors. The responses are automatic, like biochemical reaction, not experiences of suffering. And in contrast, animals, especially mammals like birds, fish, have well documented nervous systems and the behavioral patterns that indicate clear experiences of fear, distress, and pain. So, from an ethical standpoint, eating plants is not comparable to eating animals because the moral harm involved is fundamentally different. And moreover, even if someone believes that plants have some form of primitive awareness, eating animals still increases plants' death, right? Not reduces it. That's because animals raised for food are fed with massive amounts of crops, corn, soy, wheat, and etc. before they are slaughtered. In fact, it takes far more plants to feed animals than it does to feed humans directly. So if you're like, and on the other side of spectrum, it is true that vitamin B12, just as you pointed out, the good I mean like even vegans and vegetarians can easily get B12 through fortified foods such as plants, milks, breakfast cereals, nutritional yeast, and meat like alternatives. So additionally, B12 supplements are also affordable, widely available, and highly effective. So it is far more ethical to take supplement than to support the mass breeding and slaughter of animals just for a vitamin we can safely and cleanly produce in a lab. So that is my thoughts.
All right. So, shall we start? Akshay, is it our turn?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Okay. So, Bhumika and Prashant spoke about animals being sentient beings, and they agree that plants have life, and they also somehow agree that it is okay to take life of plants, and they say that bacteria may also be living, but we don't know if they are sentient beings. They may be sentient beings, they may not be sentient beings. We don't know about that. And Prashant added that we can have a balanced nutrition even on a plant-based diet. And he also mentioned that uh, it takes a lot amount of food to feed to animals and then consuming them, which is uneconomical, and it adds to his point. Okay, so I would like to rebut his points is like saying that, see, uh, normally vegans counter it like giving number of calories given to the animals, and then it is consumed back to humans. See, as far as I know, in India, the kind of food which is given to animals is not the same food which is given to humans. Animals go and graze in grass. They consume that kind of food stuff which is not suitable for humans to consume. And then humans consume animals which, in a way, they are consuming the calories which are not available to humans in the first place. So they are eating animals and animal based products is somehow increasing the food availability in the country. That is first point. Second, uh, we should ask ourselves that we are somehow making a point that plants are not sentient beings, but we should agree that plants do have a desire to survive, because as Akshay pointed out that uh, plants have a capability to communicate through their roots, through the chemical signaling which is transmitted to other plants, so that they can come in a defensive mode. All these things show that plants also have a desire to survive. They have a mechanism which help them survival. So even if there is absence of a central nervous system like ours, but we do know that plants have something which is similar, not exactly like animals, but something similar which gives them stimuli. It may be like chemical reactions based or autonomous reactions, but these things indicate that plants have a desire to survive and they don't like being killed. And also, Akshay mentioned that plants respond to music, which is indicating towards a plants having an understanding of the environment, something similar to what sentient beings show.
Yes,
And
yes.
I think that will be all from my side. Akshay, over to you.
Yeah. So, as I said previously, that many people say like eating animals is wrong because animals have lives and feel pain. I agree to that, but we should never we also should never hurt them for no reason. But I also believe that eating animals can be ethical if we do it in the right way. First, let's think about this. Like plants have also life. Okay, so science showed that plants can grow towards sunlight, react to touch, and even they can send signals through their roots. As I said previously, also. So if we say it's wrong to eat animals because they are alive, then what about the plants? We should also think about the plants. That the truth is to live, we all need to eat some form of life, yeah, whether it's plant or animal. We can't survive without food, and food comes from like living things. Okay, so the question is not should we stop eating the life or the animal we say. The real question is can we eat with care and respect? I believe we can. If we we can do it in an ethical way, as I said, and we can eat with care and respect. Also, plant-based farming still causes harm. See, when we grow crops, machine kill insect, rat, and snakes in the fields. Trees are cut down for farms. So even if someone eats its only plant, it does not mean no harm is done. Another point is about choice and the balance. Some people eat meat for health, culture, or religion. Like if specifically you live in India, some people eat for the health, culture also, or religion. Okay, some people eat the meat for culture and their religion. In many places, meat is a part of tradition, celebration, and family life. So taking that away may not feel fair to everyone. But yes, we can eat animals in a kinder way. We should stop factory farming and choose meat from farms where animals are treated well. We can also eat less meat if we want to reduce harm. Uh, like uh, it's like ethics is not about being perfect. Like it's about doing the better. So, in the end, I believe eating animals is not always cruel. It can be natural, balanced, and respectful. We can eat with heart, not just with hunger. So, this was my point of view.
All right. So, Akshay, should it be our last turn of going to
Yeah,
and fro in this bit? I
yeah,
believe
we can
this can be our last set of points which can be made. So,
yeah, sure,
Bhumika,
sure.
back to you. Your final points and conclusion and winding up of the debate. Last points, please.
Okay. So, coming back to your first point, Sayed, you said what we feed like livestock or the factory animals, farm animals, we don't feed them the food that humans consume. Okay, so in my opinion, we all know like lot of deforestation has been done nowadays only to feed these farm animals like chickens, pigs, or even cows. So I guess that also in some way is is disturbing our ecosystem also. Like we are removing so much, so much amount of forest and cutting trees. It's imbalancing our ecosystem. Okay, and I believe we are also I don't know, I've heard like these farm animals get uh, some kind of injection, that has some chemicals, and they somehow allow these animals to grow faster, and it disturbs their uh, internal biology. I don't know, and it also makes them suffer more. Like they grow faster, like a normal chicken would grow in 5 to 6 months, and uh, after that injection or I don't know some kind of drug, it grows in within 1 2 weeks. So I guess that chemical indirectly we are consuming, and which is not also good for humans or our health. So that's also a point to avoid these non-vegetarian food. And and the second thing is, if we have alternatives, we have other ways to complete our nutritional demand, our body's nutritional demand, then we can why not to choose the less cruel way? Right? So as also Akshay said, like uh, what did you say? Like it's better.
Yeah,
What I
like
don't remember what was the last point. It's better than.
it's like I said that it can be like natural, balanced, and respectful also. Like yeah, like I said that we can eat the like we can do it in a better way, like without harming the
Yeah,
animals.
we can do it in a better way. Okay, so if we can do better, then why not? If we can do better, then why not? We have so many options. Why to why to cause suffering when we have lot of options to consume without harming any sentient being. Also, animals are far more like and even in any living organism, plants are way more similar to humans. Okay, so we should give them more priority. Like we should prioritize sentient beings over every living organism out there. We can't go and save every living organism out there. Okay, so if someone is more similar to us, like they are more similar to feel pain like humans, experience emotions, they are uh, they are similar in to humans in most of the ways. So we should prioritize animals over plants. You don't see plants, bleeding. When we cut plants, you don't see them bleeding. You don't see them crying. Yeah, so they are more similar to us. So that's why I guess we should protect them and shouldn't impose cruelty on them. Or also, there is no human being left these days because I see like people have investigated these slaughterhouses, so they don't even properly what we can say uh, before killing the animals are still conscious, so they feel like when you kill a conscious being, you know how much pain it goes through. So like brutal, these people are brutally killing animals. I don't think it is justifiable to for just for the sake of our taste. We impose so much cruelty on these innocent beings and brutally kill them. Yeah, yeah, that's from my side.
All right,
Prashant, you
Bhumika,
can
thank you
go
so
ahead.
much for making up that closing statements. Uh, Prashant, you have heard Bhumika. If you like to add more points to what Bhumika said, the ground is yours.
Yes, I concur with her notion, and I would like to add a few points. Sayed, you mentioned some strong sounding claim, and I do believe that it is true that in India, many animals, like particularly cows, goats, and buffaloes, are fed on agricultural waste, natural glass, or leftover food that humans wouldn't necessarily eat. However, the ethical argument still remains here. Like, regardless of what animals are fed, killing them for food causes unnecessary suffering. Well done. When alternative exist, the core issue is not just resource use; it is the animal's right to life and freedom from harm. And furthermore, I mean, modern farming in India is also changing. I mean, with increased urbanization and commercialization, more grains and if we feed crops like just like let's say soya and maize, are being grown specifically that too for the livestock, just like in the West. And in commercial dairy operations, like high energy feed is given to maximize milk production. Meaning like human edible resources are indeed like diverted. Even if animals are fed non-human foods, the environmental and ethical cost still exists here. Like let's say methane emissions from cows, they contribute significantly to India's greenhouse gases. Water is consumed in large amounts for maintaining the livestock. And one more, I think, claim that was I think, a thoughtful observation that like it's true that like plants demonstrate fascinating behaviors, like they grow towards sunlight, defend themselves with chemicals, and even appear to respond to certain vibration, including music, right? But it's also important to understand that these are instinctive, chemical, or biological reactions, not just conscious experiences, right? So plants don't have brain, they do not have nervous system or sensory organs to interpret sound in the way animals or humans do, right? And the phrase, the plants have a desire to survive is often misunderstood. Like while all like living organisms are designed by evolution to preserve themselves, only sentient beings can suffer when that desire is thwarted. Animals clearly experience fear. It's more pronounced, right? They struggle when in pain and form emotional bonds, and that is why we instinctively protect pets like dogs and cats. Plants don't scream, they run or feel sorrow. They don't form social relationships or express trauma. So while we can appreciate plants' complexity, right, comparing the survival mechanisms to conscious suffering of animals is not a valid ethical argument. And I would like to provide a strong conclusion for it. Like in a world where full of nourishing, accessible plant-based alternatives, continuing to eat animals is no longer a necessity. It becomes a choice, just like Bhumika mentioned, and an ethically questionable one. While some may argue that plants react to the environment or show signs of life, these responses lack the hallmarks of conscious experience like pain, fear, or suffering. Animals, on the other hand, are undeniably sentient. They feel distress, form social bonds, and try to avoid harm. Taking their lives, especially when alternative exists, contradicts the very principle of compassion and responsibility that many of us value. So I would like to rest my case here.
Right, Prashant, wonderfully argued case. Okay, so the ball is in the court of team speaking against the notion. So let me give my final wordings here. Okay, so Prashant and Bhumika beautifully spoke their points. Uh, and the most important point they spoke was about plants being sentient beings and they can feel pain. And how do we know they can feel pain? They said that we can see them in pain and hear their screams. So that is how we know that we plants are animals are feeling pain and they are sentient beings. So my response is, how about a creature? How about an animal who is not able to scream, who is not able to create sound? Will it become ethical if you are not able to see the screams or hear any kind of a response from him? Suppose a person is in coma, right? In a vegetative state, it's in coma. Does it become ethical to kill such a person, which is equivalent to plants' response, which has been studied? So that is the first point. So the point is that if we are not able to see the similar kind of response of screams and wriggling, so does it become ethical to kill such type of creatures? Second point, uh, the point was said by Bhumika about deforestation, that animal grazing and animal husbandry causes deforestation. I would like to disagree with that point. Deforestation is caused is by those kind of civilizations which practice agriculture. You must have heard, you must have learned this in history books that when the civilizations were developing, it was humans who were cutting down the trees for making the land agricultural. The civilizations which were depending on animal husbandry, they were never interested in cutting trees because the grass can still grow between the trees and the animals are happy eating the leaves which are falling from the trees. Ag- Animal husbandry and the cultures which are dependent upon animal and animal products have never caused deforestation. So disagreement on that point. Secondly, spoken about injections. I don't know of any animal farm which gives injections to unnecessarily grow them because it will become uneconomical for such kind of a person who is giving them injection to make them grow out of proportion. What they might be giving is antibiotics so that it is good for them on itself to fight against the diseases. Now, thirdly, uh, animal products which are consumed by humans are taken from domestic animals like cow, goat, sheep. These are domestic animals. Now, these animals do not have the capability to survive in wild. Suppose today the entire world decides that from today onwards, the animal products and animal consumption is banned. So, what do we do with these animals? Should we leave them in the wild? Should we leave them uh, in open roads? Then they will not survive. These animals are not designed to survive in the wild. They will just die. These animals are surviving only because humans have been using them. Animals have been using the product, and humans have been using these animals and their byproducts. Thirdly, uh, you must have noticed that nowadays we are not able to see vultures, butterflies, sparrows like this. You know what is the reason behind that? The main reason behind that is the kind of agriculture practices that we are doing. We are using more and more pesticides and insecticides, which is causing these kind of butterflies and sparrows and all these creatures to die. And so, in fact, that it is the uh, agricultural practices, the vegetarian food, and its effect on the society, which is causing taking more lives than the civilizations and the practices of animal husbandry. Okay, so that will be all from my side. Akshay, over to you. Would you like to add some more points?
Yeah, like from my side, I will only say that, like in my conclusion, I will say that eating animals does not have to be cruel or unethical. Like what matters most is how we treat the animals, why we make our food choices, and whether we are respecting life in all forms. Whether we eat any plants or animals, we must remember to eat with kindness, awareness, and the balance. Like I said it previously, that is what truly makes our actions ethical. So, this is my final conclusion from my side.
All right. Okay. Uh, Bhumika and Prashant. Is there anything else that any other idea that is coming to your mind? Would you like to add something more? Prashant, Bhumika, are you there with me?
Yeah, I am. So Sayed, so like you just mentioned about one point about that, what about animals who can't hear or who don't make sounds, or do they still suffer? So my answer to this is, like, whether or not an animal can hear or scream does not determine its capability to suffer. Suffering is an internal emotional and neurological experience. It's not something that requires sound or hearing. Just like humans who are deaf or mute can still feel pain, fear, and distress, right? So can animal who may not vocalize or react loudly. The ability to suffer is tied to the presence of central nervous system and its brain capable of processing pain, not the ability to cry out. And on the other hand, the my that you mentioned about, like, you had really a thoughtful question about what about dead animals and not meant to survive. The argument that it's okay to eat animals who are already dead or not meant to survive may sound practical at first, but it raises like deeper ethical concerns. First, very few animals used for meat actually die of natural causes. So in almost all cases, especially in farming, animals are intentionally bred, confined, and killed by humans for profit and consumption. So, so claiming that they are already dead is a way of distancing ourselves from the reality that we cause they are dead, right? So, I think both sides have equal chances of winning. So, both have their own perspectives, and I really do respect that. That's from my side.
All right, all right. Bhumika, would you like to add something?
Yeah, as Prashant said, like, both sides have valid points, we can't, it's like, agree to disagree. So, um, I'd just like to say, mm, so from the ethical point of view, it's better, you know, it's better to cause less harm as much as possible than causing more harm. So, yeah, it's up to us what we choose, either less harm or more harm. So, yeah, it's up to every person. We can't do anything about it, but yeah, it's up to them. Yeah, we should, yeah, I'll conclude here.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you, Bhumika and Prashant. You made a very wonderful point. You spoke very fairly about, and you did a good justice for the notion. All right. So I think we will call it and Akshay.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was a
the
very
debate.
nice debate, healthy discussion.
Okay. Okay. If there not the official time of the debate comes to an end, and if there is any informal point to be made from the participants, I think we can discuss this topic a little further. If there is any unofficial or informal comments to be made, you are most welcome.
No, I think
Akshay, you have spoken on both sides, but initially you said that you by heart you are on you have your heart speaks for the motion. So if you would like to speak for the motion, what points would you like to add?
Like she said, like I have already said about like in my conclusion, I said that see, even if we if plants or animals, and also I agreed to the Bhumika's point that it's person perspective, like it's like everyone have the different point of view about what we eat, okay. And secondly also, see, there are in if you are in India, then in many religious, like the meat is being eaten, so that's also a point. And from if we say from the plant-based diet, then I agreed also the Prashant side, like see, animals have life, but we like the plants can't feel the we can't see the pain of the we can't see the pain in the plants. Okay, so I think that Prashant already said about it. So that's my final conclusion. Yeah, its final conclusion is it's about the person perspective, like what he eats. And we can't control the see, we can't say to a specific person, or we can't force a person to eat the plant-based diet or eat the only meat, okay, or eat the non-veg or the veg. So it's on the person decision, whatever he wants to eat he can eat. But I think we should also be kind to the animals, because animals have also the life. And yeah, that's my point.
All right, all right, all right. Okay. So we have come to a conclusion of the debate, and thank you all the participants for speaking their hearts out. And the debate can continue in the on the topic in Heatic app. If anybody feels like, anybody who will be listening to this debate in the future on YouTube can add and give the points on Heatic app. I think a similar topic exists in the app in
Yeah,
the
in the
respective column. Okay, thank
yeah.
you once again, all the participants. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prashant. Thank
everyone.
you, Bhumika.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, yeah. See you soon.
Bye.